Hello and welcome back to the Hype Bulletin. We are finally here. It is May 21st, a Tuesday, and we are finally here. What is it called? 3.5 games prior to the first game in the conference finals. Finally, we are here, and the Celtics, ironically, are the first game for this podcast, at least. Ironically, the first game for the conference finals, So we'll have Indiana versus Boston tonight at 8 or 8:30 with ESPN. Most likely it's 8:30 and all. But fine, so it's 4 hours. Well, whatever. 4 hours away from game time and all. So we're finally here, the conference finals. But before we get into the Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers, let's talk about an impressive comeback in the second half of Game 7 of the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets series and all, where the Minnesota Timberwolves ended up winning a 98-90 contest. The Denver Nuggets held a 20-point lead in the beginning of the third quarter, but Minnesota made a comeback, and they went on a 28-9 run to end the third quarter. There were calls for Gobert from guys like Charles Barkley for him to be benched and to have Towns guarding Jokic full-time, which I didn't disagree to the Towns part because Towns was doing a great job guarding Jokic and all, but Gobert showed out with two wild shots in the fourth quarter with a little bank shot, with a little floater bank shot. I think it was an and one too as well on that. And then he ended up in like a Dirk or a fadeaway basically, too as well. Call it a Kobe if you like to as well. Had swish on it, no backboard, no nothing, a complete swish on that. So he definitely came back big in the fourth quarter when Towns got his fifth foul and all. But Towns did end up coming back and had a big putback, and Naz Reid too as well had a big putback, honestly. And Ant towards the end of that fourth quarter, Reed had a drive, dished it out to Ant in the corner, and hit, in my opinion, the dagger three to make it 92-82 after being down 20 points in the early parts of the third quarter. For Minnesota to be up by 10 in the middle parts of the fourth quarter was an amazing thing, honestly. It was a great comeback for them with the score being 98-90. Obviously, their defense really showed that, honestly, because Denver was able to do whatever they want. I believe Jamal Murray had 24 points in the first half, too, as well, honestly. You're disappointed for Denver's part, where Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter didn't show up, at least, and all. But you just got to give a shout-out to the defense of Minnesota, honestly. They came out, and they came out big time, honestly, too, as well. And to the point of Towns guarding Jokic, did a great job, honestly. Every time Rudy was guarding Jokic was food. It was food. Barbecue chicken. It was very easy for him to get to the rim and do his thing, at least, with his layups or his little flip shots too as well, or just getting an offensive rebound, tapping it right back in over Rudy Gobert or through Rudy Gobert too as well. You can argue, honestly. So it was a huge win, honestly, for Minnesota to force to eliminate, not force, but eliminate Denver, the champions, the previous champions, ousted from the playoffs, honestly. And now it's been 6 years. We're gonna have 6 different championships, if I've read that, or 6 different NBA champions, honestly. So as a Celtics fan, or not as a Celtics fan, but if you were a Celtics fan that was worried about Denver and facing them in the assuming finals, obviously right now, because it's May 21st, it's not June 6th yet, but in the assumed finals against Denver, you can be less worried, honestly, because now you're facing two teams that you've at least won a game in the regular season. All when you have Dallas and now the Minnesota Timberwolves in the western side of the conference finals, honestly. So we'll talk about this matchup, and it's a battle of young stars, honestly, where you're gonna have Luka Doncic versus Ant Edwards. You got young role players from PJ Washington for Dallas to Jaden McDaniels with the T-Wolves, honestly. And you saw with his 2 games in Game 6 and Game 7 versus the Denver Nuggets, he's a big part of what they need from him, honestly, to win this conference finals and head to the finals, honestly. But obviously Karl Anthony Towns too as well. I'll throw in Derek Lively and the Gaffords because they've been big parts of why Dallas is here in the conference finals too as well. I won't put Kyrie Irving in the young part, but to the elder statesmen in the league, he's the younger guy, one of the youngers with the Paul Georges, the Kawhis, the James Hardens, the Russell Westbrooks, the LeBron James, obviously. He's the younger of that side, at least, a little older than Ant Davis, at least, Anthony Davis for the Los Angeles Lakers and all too as well. But you're having a battle of 2 young teams, honestly, essentially, battling out for some supremacy in the West, honestly. honestly, for a new king since Minnesota took out the new king, honestly. But and even Neil Alexander Walker, honestly. But when I'm looking at this series, honestly, okay, let's see. Yeah, let me wind it down. I got a script for y'all and all, so I just want to make sure. But it's just the wings that I'm very curious about. Both teams can offer defense at the wing position with Derek Jones, another name that I forgot to mention, honestly. Great shooting out of him in Game 6 versus OKC, honestly. But it's the defense, those guys, the names I mentioned, from the Alexander Walkers, the Jaden McDaniels, and then the PJ Washingtons, the Daniel Gaffords. Well, not Daniel Gafford in this situation at least and all, but Derrick Jones at least and all. Out of those players, those wings, who can give me some shooting, because they're going to give you some defense, who can give you that clutch shooting and all too as well to help you cinch games, in my opinion, going forward, because what you're going to get out of Ant. I believe if Karl-Anthony Towns is out of foul trouble, he'll bring it too as well. You're going to get out of Luka, and at least in second halves of games, even though it didn't show much in the OKC series, second half of games you can trust that Kyrie Irving is going to show up and close out games. I believe it's 14-0 that this man has been involved in when it's in the closeout situation and all too as well. So and that's why with the shooting that I saw from Dallas, I think it continued more with the Timberwolves. You can see in that Game 7, as much as they had a comeback, their lack of shooting, their lack of scoring, I should say, honestly, putting them in a hole where they only had 33, 35 points at the end of the first half, honestly. So that's what I'm really concerned about, honestly. If they got to turn up the defense, will their scoring be there? We've seen in 2 series now, if Dallas turns up the defense, their shooting's still going to be there and all too as well. Guys like PJ Washington having 27 and 29 point games respectfully against the OKC Thunder in the last series, honestly. And Derrick Jones, like I mentioned, had a big Game 6, honestly, at home. And not even a Game 5, too, as well in OKC with his clutch shooting, honestly. He was a big part of why they had that big one, honestly, in Game 5, too, as well. So I really trust the shooting out of Dallas throughout the playoffs more than Minnesota. Minnesota's defense is top tier, so it's going to make this tough, honestly, for Dallas. But I do see Dallas in 6, honestly. As long as Lucas is playing the way he played in Game 5 and 6, I see Dallas in 6. If he's struggling with any type of ankle or knee issue, it could be pushed to 7, honestly. I think the last 2 series, I've looked at it as, can Lucas stay healthy, that Dallas really has a shot to go to the final, to keep. Let's just now go to the finals instead of the conference finals, but carry on round per round, honestly. And I think if he just shows up in this one, I know how Ant's playing. I know defensively how we can play and all. Even though you're probably going to have Jaden McDaniels guarding him and Neil Alexander Walker at times guarding him too as well. I just think that's still an advantage for Luka, and the man's the best offensive player. And even over my favorite Jason Tatum, he is the best offensive player left with the defense that Dallas has been throwing out lately. I gotta take that Dallas defense seriously, honestly. If the best offensive player is healthy, I'm gonna like Dallas in 6, honestly, in this series, honestly. It's nothing against Minnesota. I like their team. I love A-Rod fighting for that for the ownership of that team, because it's well deserved, honestly. Glenn Taylor saw that value sky up and play some type of money thing with them back, I believe it was March or February, honestly, where he reneged on the deal, honestly, basically with A-Rod, and I believe Mark Lore is his partner and all for buying the team and all. So good for him to have a little handshake, honestly, with Antu as well at the end of Game 7 and all. But I just think this is a ultra powered series, honestly. Minnesota is not out. There's no way I'm putting them out and all. I just think Dallas brings a lot offensively, especially with their turn up defensively lately and all. I just see that continuing, honestly, and I like their activity more at the positions of the 5 and 4 positions, more than the 4 and 5 positions with Rudy and Gobert. With Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns, honestly. It's not that they can't do it, but sometimes their focus is trying to score sometimes when it should be just playing a simple role, honestly, because you got Ant for that, and those roles are a little bit more defined, honestly, with a Daniel Gafford and a Derek Lively, at least, and all, or PJ Washington too as well, since he plays the 4, honestly, for Dallas and all. So that's the reason why I like Dallas in 6. It's a series. If Luka's tripping in any type of way health-wise, it's definitely going 7 and all. And Minnesota really does have a chance, honestly, if Luka's tripping health-wise, at least and all. But I like Dallas in 6 in that one. So let's just get over to the East side, the Eastern Conference Finals, honestly, where where we all knew, I think in the previous episode we already mentioned the Celtics were already done with their series and all, and we're just waiting for how the Knicks and Pacers series played out. I was curious if the Indiana offense, their offensive efficiency can show out, because I feel like if it showed out, it can win this series. I did not expect them to shoot at 67% in their Game 7 versus New York, honestly. 70% at the end of the first half, honestly. The end of the 67, I believe, clip, yeah. Over 70% in the first half and all, to quell the MSG crowd on the stunning 130 and 109 win over the New York Knicks, honestly. It seems like the insertion of Anunoby was a killer to start the game, honestly. Even though he did hit a couple fadeaway shots, you can obviously see the hamstring was struggling, honestly. Every time he hit that fadeaway shot, those one of the two. I mean, as he hit those fadeaway shots, he was struggling to get up the court, even getting up to half court, honestly. And Siakam was able to take advantage and was able to get going early, honestly. Everybody was able to get going with Indiana, as you can see, with the 67% percentage for field goal attempts in the whole entire game, 48 minutes and all. But I just think that really accelerated Siakam. If he was like they love Indiana loves living in the paint. They love moving the basketball and scoring in the paint and all, or at least around the paint. They don't really settle for threes unless it's open, obviously. But but the way they're able to move up pace off of made or even missed baskets, obviously off missed baskets with their transition game. You can see with Siakam able to get going early in the middle. The fact that they're able to get up the court quickly and then get into the paint quickly and all and score like in 8 seconds, basically, it really like nullified whatever the Knicks were trying to do in the first half, honestly. So that's why I feel like the Anunoby injury hurt, honestly. So it led to a big lead that Indiana was able to carry into the third quarter. It got into single digits, but unfortunately, Jalen Brunson goes out and waxes his hand on, I believe, Halliburton or Neesmith, someone's knee, and he ended up fracturing his hand. And also the fact that the Knicks had a chance to come back, they got into single digits. I believe it was 73-65. But after Jalen Brunson breaking his hand and not having him in that situation when they got it down to 10, it was hard for them to continue what they had going, honestly, to get back into that game and hopefully making the comeback in front of the MSG crowd. And also, that's how Indy was able to win that game, honestly. To their 67% percentage, Halliburton dropped 26, Siakam dropped 20, Nembhard dropped 20, Miles Turner dropped 17, and even Aaron Neesmith dropped 69 points, honestly. So they turned out big time with their offensive efficiency, honestly, but it was unfortunate the way the Knicks were breaking down, honestly, too, as well. So now that Indy's in the conference finals, they'll be facing the 2023-2024 Boston Celtics, who are now 4 wins away from a finals appearance, and now the team that's in the way are the Indiana Pacers and all. KP was seen on the bike and on the court after practices, chucking half-court shots and all. Over the weekend and all, but reported by Woj, it looks like he'll miss Game 1 and Game 2, which is kind of setting up for something for a Game 3 or Game 4 return for Kristaps Porzingis. I'm one of the optimistic Celtics fans, or even NBA analysis. You know what I mean? If I'm having the time of being objective and all, but I still think the Celtics can beat the Pacers in this conference finals even without Porzingis and all. But it is a good sign to see that there is progress to him being on the court and all. And for it to be a similar, at least named injury with Giannis and his soleus injury. If there is a mower going by me, I'm so sorry. I wish I could close the door right now, but I do not want to stop from what I'm doing right now. So let it roll by. We'll keep it raw. Just let it roll by, and it's rolling by just fine and all. But back to the Kristaps Porzingis point, it's just a good sign that he's able to be back on the court. Similar injury to Giannis Antetokounmpo with the soleus, and you never heard about him being on the court within the 3 weeks that he's been hurt from Game 4 from the first round in the Miami series and all. I can't remember the date at this point, but I think it was April. So so we're looking at 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks, honestly. And it's a good sign for him to be back on the court and all. But with or without him, I think the Celtics' chances of winning this series are still pretty high, honestly, too, as well. Just to, let's see what it is. Let me break down, see my script and see how I'm breaking it down and all too as well. Because obviously the thing that you worry about is Indy's offensive efficiency. It's not that you can, in my opinion, there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's about, can you control it? Can you have some type of command over the basketball game with their offensive efficiency and for their transition game and pace, even off made baskets, pushing the ball up the court and all too as well. Again, if you're hearing a blower or a lawnmower in the back of the background, please bear with me and all too as well. I generally don't be recording podcasts in the middle of the afternoon. So I'm not prepared for the work being outside of the crib and all too as well. But since it's gone, we can get back into it. That's why, since the offensive efficiency is kind of my only worry with the Indiana Pacers, honestly, it's going to be the defense of the Boston Celtics. Honestly, they're going to have to be more consistent with their defense. Their ball pressure is going to be a whole lot more consistent than it needs to, than it usually is. Honestly, I really got a lawnmower right under me. I'm gonna have to pause it. Yeah, I definitely had to stop that. Definitely going to be a little thing in the middle of all that, honestly. Just had no choice. Had to close the door and all too as well. Was not prepared for that. It's like 4:30. I thought they were over all this shit for today and all too as well. But just to get back into the series and all, Indiana's offensive efficiency is what I'm worried about. And the reason why they're so efficient is the fact that their transition game. If y'all were watching the Knicks series, honestly, you saw how quick they would get it up to half court at least and all, off made, especially off missed baskets and all too as well. That contributes to their offensive efficiency because it gives them more of a chances of possessions at least and all too as well. So that's the kind of concern that you would have going into this series. That's why my main thing for the Boston Celtics is to bring that defense intensity. Yeah, definitely had to get a sip of water too. All over the place in this episode, but we're excited too. That's the reason why. But it's just the defensive intensity of this team bringing up. Honestly, you've seen all defensive teams were named this year, named today, and Drew Holiday and Derek White were both in the list. I don't think they were first. I think they were second teamers, honestly. But it contributes to what this team has and what they have to offer, even without Kristaps Porzingis. Their ball pressure with Derek White and Drew Holiday is all defensive team like, and I think they should be able to show that out with being with Nembhard and Tyrese Halliburton being the guards that are going to be on the other side. Honestly, I expect their pressure to be up. I expect Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum to bring it defensively in with their rebounding. Honestly, they've shown it all postseason. There's no reason why they can't continue, honestly. I do have a slight concern with Al Horford, at least and all. The time off, I think, is huge. Honestly, to him, if there's anything to the time off that the Celtics have had, it's still Al Horford, at least and all. This is something they didn't have last year with him, and you can see things started breaking down for him throughout the later ends of the playoffs. This time, not the same. You can credit Cleveland for having him in rotation and all, so it kind of slowed up his game. Even in Game 5, he still kept shooting in the first half. And I'm telling to myself at least, and I wish he would stop shooting. But he kept on shooting. Finally drove for one basket, started shooting all over again. Had himself an all-time game, like we mentioned in the last episode, at least and all too. So it's really just about the defense. Everything's going to be coming from the defense, at least and all too as well. And into like the narrative about like, the Seas haven't faced any type of test or anything like that. This is where I disagree. And I think to Bobby Manning listening to the Garden Report, I won't listen to it because John Zanis is a little annoying when he comes talking basketball. He talks football with his vernacular, his rhetoric. It's cool. When it comes to basketball, it's a little over the top for me. I can't handle it. But shout out to Bobby Manning on the Garden Report and their preview of the Pacers and Celtics. Honestly, of bringing about of the defenses that the Celtics have faced, and this is the least defense that they face in this year's playoffs. Honestly, Miami is a top 10 defense, and just because of their first round matchup against us, that's where the defense was outside of the top 10 in the playoffs, at least and all. But we all know they're a top 10 defense. Even I'll give Heat culture respect and that they're a disciplined defense, at least and all too as well. And then shout out to Cleveland too as well. They're a top 10 defense, and they were top 10 in the playoffs too as well. I believe top 7, if not top 8 in the playoffs before getting eliminated and all too as well. So for the prognostication of like the bullshit, in my opinion, if it's just prognostication doesn't make sense of how I'm saying it, but the bullshit that the Seas haven't been tested. They've been tested by 2 top 10 defenses in this year's playoffs, and I don't care if you're losing talent. You're still going to have, if you have good habits, if we're going to talk about habits and all, and you have good habits of being a top 10 defense, even with not having your players out there, you're still going to show principles of good defense and all too as well. And I think Miami and Cleveland have showed that in both series, honestly, to the point that the Celtics offense hasn't going like we typically see in the regular season. but they're still having a point differential of plus 10, if not plus 11 over teams, if not a net rating over these teams with the 2 losses and the 8 wins over the first 2 rounds, honestly. So it's really going to just start off from the defense, honestly. There's nothing more. It just comes up a little bit more, in my opinion, versing the Pacers, honestly. I don't worry about them offensively. When the Pacers play the way they play up the court like that, there's gonna breed space. We saw games with Dante DiVincenzo having 30-point games and all. Josh Hart, again, having big shooting games. Deuce McBride out of nowhere had a big shooting game in Game 5 and contributed to the huge win for the New York Knicks. And also, I just see space for the Celtics. It's just going to be a matter of making or missing their shots, honestly. There's going to be space for them to be able to get busy and do their thing, honestly, from Jason Tatum to Jaylen Brown to Drew Holiday and Derek White, and even Payton Pritchard, honestly, because the way TJ McConnell's playing, the way they play, even Payton Pritchard, I expect to have a big series, honestly, too, as well. Wouldn't surprise me. He averaged 15 points in this series, honestly, and had one big game. It would not surprise me, honestly. I just see space just offered to this team, honestly, versus the Pacers, at least and all. Even Sam Hauser, I would give you one big game, hitting 3 threes in a row or some shit like that, having some type of impact like that offensively, honestly. They're just going to have space to do their thing offensively. Will they turn up defensive-wise? Because Indiana, to their credit, has turned up defensively, but not in some, ground-stopping way. They're top 14. They're still outside the top 10 in defense in these playoffs right now, honestly, too, as well. So, and with teams that have had injuries to the Bucks and the Knicks, they're still playing bad defense and all, too, as well. So, again, to the C's point of them taking this series, if I had to put a number to it, I would really say a sweep, honestly. If it takes a franchise or a career night for the Pacers to win a game or two, I respect it. But if that doesn't happen, I see a sweep. When you look at Game 1, franchise, playoff, the 3-pointers made for the Miami Heat in 23. When you look at Game 2, career game out of Evan Mobley, and it wasn't an anomaly. He dropped 30 points in their elimination Game 2 as well. When they don't have Donovan Mitchell or Karis LeVert, they still found a player that dropped 30 points, honestly. So it just took outlier games, in my opinion, for them to win games, and that happens. It's basketball. It's kind of supposed to happen. If it didn't happen, I don't think most of us would be watching basketball as an entertaining value. So it happens and all too as well. But so I would give Indiana that happened. Harold Byrne can have a career night. Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam can have a career night and win them a game. And all we saw what Nembhard did with the big shot. I just said Nesmith dropped 19 points in their elimination Game 2 as well. They're definitely capable. I just think if the C's bring their defense 48 minutes for each of their first 4 games, I can easily see a sweep, honestly, because of the space the Pacers offer for those 2 games that I mentioned too as well. It took a bad shooting night, and you can credit Miami and Cleveland's top 10 defense in today's NBA for the reason why that they had a bad shooting night. I don't think Indiana can do that to the Boston Celtics, honestly. It really is just a make or miss league. A make or miss game, honestly, when it comes to that. When I look at the Knicks series and the Bucks series, honestly, as well, it just took Bucks didn't really have a bad shooting night, honestly. When you look at it, Pacers never really blew them out. They really were able to stay in games and all. If the game was comfortable, it was 10-15 at least. And I think there was only one game, maybe the first game at home, Indiana really took care of the Bucks, but every game was close enough at least and all, where it was a question at least and all. When you look at games, when you take out Game 6 with the Knicks and Pacers series, same thing, honestly. You can and I argued, and I think that's what helped them to win this series, honestly. The first 2 games they easily could have won, honestly, and they lost those games because of their defensive habits and all. So that's just, I don't see even again to this they're not tested. The C's aren't tested. They just faced 2 top 10 defenses, and now they're facing an outside the 20, outside of the 20, if not 24 top rated defense in the league, honestly. And now they're outside the top 10 of defenses, and there's only 4 teams left and all too as well. I just don't see the C's struggling offensively the way they kind of struggled against 2 top 10 defenses and all. They're not struggling in that sense. I hope, because I think sometimes with their defense too in those previous series, especially the Game 2s in both series, their offense seeped to their defense, especially in the third quarter against Cleveland. I just don't see how their offense is any type of laxing against Indiana's defense, unfortunately to them at least. So that's why I see a sweep. Wouldn't surprise me for some outlier games. They go 6 games. They got enough players at least enough for some outlier games to force it to 6. But again, if the defense shows up, and I just don't see the offense slowing down in this series, and all I see sunshine with these jerseys, honestly, with the Pacers, honestly, I truly see sunshine after this series, honestly. But if the defense doesn't turn up, it doesn't mean shit of what I'm saying, honestly. The defense definitely has to be there and all too as well. So appreciate you guys listening again and all. Here's the preview for the conference finals and all too as well and all. So here we are. Built this up back in, I don't remember, January, I think, and all too as well. Bonus episodes with me at the Garden in November and all before Thanksgiving, watching them beat the what was it, the scariest team that we had to face and all too as well. Was not seeing it, at least in the East and all too as well and all. So they're through it in all too as well. And then I see there's another provocation I can't stand: the East and the West, and how the West is so much better. The East with championship players like the Bucks and all too as well still couldn't get through it. The way the New York Knicks did with 4 players out. They were able to get to 7 games in the second round and all. The Milwaukee Bucks with at least 3 championship players in Middleton, Brook Lopez, and Bobby Portis. You're telling me they couldn't have gone to the set? They couldn't have done the same thing the Knicks did too as well. So again, that's just my little dig to this whole that the West is so much better than the East. There's one thing I'll give the West: there's more talent there, but that doesn't mean that it's better. You know what I mean? There's some bad structured teams out there in the West, and your Phoenix Suns or your, what's the other one there, the Lakers and all too as well. You can't say that about the East. Some teams just lack talent. Maybe the only team that you would be suspect about their practices and all is Philadelphia. You know what I mean? But besides that, there's not much after that team in the East and all. You can respect Orlando, respect Cleveland, respect them. Obviously respect the New York Knicks and what they went through and all too as well. Miami, you're gonna respect. Everyone respects the Heat culture and all too as well. You respect all those teams that didn't make that were in the East and all. Maybe Atlanta is the only playing team you want to take seriously. That's why I wanted Toronto to be there, so you can take all those teams seriously. Chicago, you can look at the Lonzo Ball injury and really ruining their progress and all too as well. It'd be big if he comes back, because you see how good a guard can be in Donovan's offense with Kobe White and his huge year, honestly. Even DeSumo with a little tick to his game, honestly. Imagine if Lonzo Ball was playing all too as well. So that's my thing with the East and the West. Look at the bad run teams in the West, honestly, too as well. It's more of them with the Suns and the Lakers and all too as well. And not the Warriors. The way their development around those 3 is bad, you can joke about too as well. I won't diss those 3. It's just everything around it. And look at Bob Myers leaving, working for ESPN, and now having the job with the Washington Commanders and all too as well. So just to my point of how teams are run in the East compared to teams that are run in the West. If the teams were run in the West like the East with the talent, the West, I agree, is so much better. But you have so much better run teams in the East than in the West. I can't really go there that the West is so much better. Talent, more talented players, fair. But it's not like these teams know what they're doing and all too as well. So since I haven't hit the 30-minute mark, and I had a little thing on my personal chat about this topic and all, I thought I would throw this little wrinkle and all to this conversation and all to the, since we're having the East and the Western Conference Finals, honestly, you may, if my prediction is right at least and all for the Eastern Conference, you may hear how whack the East was and how easy the path was for the Celtics, honestly. And I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it at all, honestly. They persevered. They didn't play with their food and all, like some people want to mention all too as well. And if they're able to follow through, at least with my prediction and all, by winning in the sweep at least and all, they're just showing more of it since they've been showing it for 82 games in their first 10 games at least and all in the playoffs and all. But since I had a little tangent about that and all, I think it's time to close it out. But I do appreciate you guys listening. We'll see the next time when I drop an episode and all. We'll see how these games go and all, and the flow of my time and all, and see if we can fit in another episode. But since, as you can hear, we had the lawnmowers out here, I usually don't have an afternoon episode at least. No, I've been recording at night and all. But since it was Game 7 on Sunday, today's Tuesday, didn't really have time to record on Monday and all too as well, catching up on some other things and all too as well. Definitely had some time to do this today and all, so definitely wanted to let it out. Put my feelings out there, put my predictions out there. Like I said, like in the description of the podcast, so some passion and joy, because as you can, if you go back to my recordings and all, but at least for this podcast, been building it up and all too as well. Because out of all the years, didn't expect it in 22, expected it in 23, sit laid back, but expecting it this year and all. But with the way things have panned out, at least and all, you can see there's a great chance of this team going to the NBA Finals and winning the illustrious trophy that we all as Celtics fans want back here, at least not too as well. But again, appreciate you guys listening. Again, mind me with the mower thing. I'm just going because I still have some time and all, because I really want to cut at the 30-minute mark. But let's just let this go. I appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see you the next time I put in an episode. But hopefully you tune in. Thank you.